First of all, I would like to wish you all a very happy new year. May this year brings to all of us happiness, success and good health. And there's a good news also that there's a breakthrough in finding a cure to COVID-19, and soon this world will be corona free. We just hope. Until then, we have to continue our online classes. So students, let's continue the chapter. Now students, let's continue chapter number 5, language of chemistry. Earlier I told you about what is a chemical reaction, and also I told you about the type of changes that are observed during a chemical reaction. So a chemical reaction is a chemical change in which matter it changes into a new substance or substances, and a reaction is accompanied by certain external indications. These external indications are the external changes that are observed during a chemical reaction. The type of changes are change in color, change in state, that means liquid, solid, liquid or gaseous, change in smell, then evolution of gas, then precipitate formed, and heat evolved released during a chemical reaction. Now I've told you about how a chemical reaction it is accompanied by change in color, change in state, change in smell, evolution of gas and formation of precipitate. Now today you are going to learn about how a chemical reaction it is accompanied by evolution of heat. Okay, so let us study that. Now students, the sixth characteristic change is evolution of heat, or heat evolved or released during a chemical reaction. So in certain chemical reactions what happens, that energy is either absorbed or released. So depending upon the type of energy change, there are two types of chemical reactions. They are exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction is a type of reaction in which heat is evolved or released, and in endothermic reaction heat is absorbed during the chemical reaction. Okay, so here are the examples of exothermic and endothermic reactions. Burning of fuel, burning of coal, burning of CNG gas, all these are fuels. Okay, so when they burn, they release heat in the form of energy. Okay, so the same way respiration is also an exothermic reaction where heat is evolved in the form of energy, and we need energy to do various activities. Okay, now rusting of iron, then calcium oxide, when it combines with water, what it gives out? It gives out calcium hydroxide plus heat. So heat is always shown in the form of this triangle. Okay, so these are the examples of exothermic reactions. Now the examples of endothermic reactions are decomposition reactions. All the decomposition reactions are actually the reactions in which there is only one reactant. Reactant, you know, the substance which is on the left side, that is reactant. So there is only one reactant, but the products are more than one. Products, you know, the substances that are on right hand side. So endothermic reactions, they are mostly observed in decomposition reactions, and here water, when it is passed through electric current, then it decomposes or breaks down into hydrogen and oxygen. The other example of endothermic reaction is digestion of food. So we take complex food. Whenever we eat, we take complex food, and our body, what it does, it breaks down the complex food into simpler substances. So breaking down of food is also an endothermic reaction. Okay, so whenever food is broken down, then there is absorption of energy. Okay, so this is endothermic reaction. Digestion of food is endothermic reaction. So this is the difference between exothermic and endothermic reactions. Now students, there are conditions which are necessary for a chemical reaction to take place. Okay, for example, if I place two reactants over the table, then will there be any chemical reaction between the two reactants? No. Why? Because they are not in contact with each other. They are in distance. So the first condition necessary for a chemical reaction to take place is the physical contact between the reactants. And the reactants, if they are placed separately, then they will not react. And the second thing is, if the reactants, they are in solid form, then they should be powdered, because if they will be in powdered form, then they will react more, or they will initiate the fast reaction. Okay, so this is about the physical contact. Now comes the contact in solution. Okay, there are some chemical reactions that takes place in solution form only. Okay, so for example, acid and base, they react in solution form only. For example, this is sodium hydroxide and sulfuric acid. They both react in solid form only. And also the reactions where precipitate are formed, they will react in solution form only. For example, if silver nitrate, okay, there's a reaction, if there's a reaction between silver nitrate and sodium chloride, and if I take sodium chloride in solid form, then the reaction will not take place. If the sodium chloride will also be in solution form, just like silver nitrate, then the reaction will take place and a white precipitate will be formed. Okay, so this is about the chemical reactions that takes place only in liquid state or liquid form.